Stop recording button.
Hey mates, and welcome to Blindformers. I'm your host Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be talking about Transformers Age of the Primes Swerve. I have him right here next to his mold mate, Transformers Legacy, I believe it's Gears. And Gears was an excellent Transformer in the Legacy line. He was definitely one of the best of the year that year. When it came to his transformation, I thought it was quite enjoyable. And I'm happy to get a hold of Swerve. Though honestly, I always had a different idea of Swerve in my head. Swerve's not one of those Transformers in my past that I've ever actually, had anything to do with. And whenever I came across the MtMtE comic by IDW, which has a lot of Swerve in it, I never actually saw that. I came across that after I went blind and found some YouTubers that were doing audio for those comics. And so Swerve in my head became something a bit different. So this one was kind of a surprise. I was not expecting Swerve to kind of look like this. But it's all good because I absolutely loved Gears and I loved that transformation. And so Swerve has come out of nowhere and tickled my heart because of just, well, one, I liked his character more than meets the eye. I thought he was an excellent character. And two, I do enjoy the transformation. So we're going to talk about him today in depth. We'll discuss his articulation and whatnot, and then we'll get into a verbal transformation video. That way, any of you out there with visual impairments like me, you can just follow along using your ears and transform him using your hands. Though he is a very intuitive transformation, so you shouldn't have too much trouble. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. So there's those two next to each other. Now, some differences between these two in robot mode. We spin them around to the back, and we got definitely a slight difference in the textures on the hood. They're similar. Well, this backpack, they're similar, but yet just a little different. There's not a big difference there, but there is some. They actually molded in some extra little bits for Swerve and made him a distinctively different texture than Gears here. Now at the front, they each have a chest plate, but Gears' chest plate and Swerve's chest plates are very different. That's another difference between the two. They're definitely, they're mold mates, but Swerve is a for sure retool, not a repaint. Now, let's take a look at some more differences between Swerve and Gears here. Swerve has wheels that come around on his back. Gears' wheels actually all fold up into his chest area. So Gears doesn't have any wheels on the backs of his legs like Swerve does. And then, furthermore, their legs, for instance, have some different textures. Swerve's textures are, he feels like he's got some vents going on his legs, and Gears here feels like he's got some sort of, rectangle thing on his legs. They're really neat, and another big difference between the two is at the shoulders. Swerve seems to have a fake wheel as part of his shoulder, and it almost feels like this wheel's supposed to split apart and his arm's supposed to fold up inside of it or something like that. That's the impression I'm getting from Swerve's shoulders. Now, if they're not wheels, then I don't know what they are, but they kind of feel like wheels. And Gears does not have fake wheels on his shoulders. And of course, Swerve's head is very different than Gears. Gears has got this very wide, flat head, and Swerve's got a normal head, but it's between these two side things that I don't get. I don't really understand them. I guess that was in the old figure or something, but they don't really make much sense to me. It's, I kind of wish they had given them a couple of hinges so that you could fold them up if you wanted, or you could fold them down and make them into shoulder pauldrons, because I think they would have really been cool as some pieces of shoulder armor. Because each of these flat pieces, one on either side of his head, go up just about to the top of his head. So, if he turns his head, he can't see anything on either side. But, that's just, I guess, the design of this character for his head. Anyway, so that's the description and the comparison. So let's go ahead and put Gears off over here to the side next to... Who are you? Oh, Venom. All right, so we'll compare Gears to Venom real quick. They're both deluxes. They both came out in Age of the Primes, but Swerve here, the top of Swerve's shoulder goes to the bottom, the bicep swivel for Venom. Then we put them face to face, and the top of Gears' head goes to the top of the collarbone for Venom. Weight-wise, they're actually about the same in weight. Oh, nope, we're not talking about Venom today. We're talking about Swerve. Go away, Venom. All right. And no, I don't know if he's black and has any symbiote powers. His name's just Venom. Now, let's talk about his transformation. Swerve's transformation, very, very similar to Gears. So first, what I like to do with Swerve is I like to take his gun out of his hand and then turn it around. There's a peg on the side of the gun, and go ahead and put that peg back into his hand. So now he's holding his gun like a gangsta. Okay? So that's just something I like to do to start the transformation off, because that's going to come in. That's going to be important later. Next step is I unfold the backpack all the way, and then you'll find these two wheels hiding in there. Go ahead and fold out each of the wheels. Now we're going to then fold this backpack thing over his head, and that's going to require just bringing down the backpack. So his backpack is going to go forwards, and the two wheels we just split off are going to go on either side of his head, and that's going to be the front of his vehicle mode. Kinda. We still got to put these arms away. Now, something I really liked about the way that his arms are done is that when you fold them down, and before we can fold his arms down, we actually have to get rid of this chest piece area. So we got to fold this out. There it goes. So just grab the chest piece and in your thumb and forefinger and pull it with your thumb over his head area to keep his head and back torso straight and solid while you pull away the front of his torso, and it's actually going to fold all the way backwards and become part of the foot stuff. So we fold that back, and now that gives us the room to park the arms in here. So you want to pick up the arms and just kind of rotate them around. There's a way to do it so that it looks nice. What you want to try and do is you'll notice there's a part of his shoulder fake wheel thing that hangs out over the rest of his shoulder. And if you feel in that groove, you'll find that there's actually a tread texture there, like a corrugated steel pattern. And that is because that's actually going to be the running board for the truck. So fold his arm up on that nice double jointed hinge there for the elbows, and that arm is going to fold up to make the that side of the shoulder sticking out become the runner board, so anyone getting into this truck can actually step on that running board. Now we're going to come around here to the other side where we put the gun on the random hinge. Now when you fold this arm up, make sure you have the gun barrel facing forwards so that when this arm folds in, and we just got to kind of wiggle it around and maneuver it and squeeze it just a bit to get it to snap into proper place. These arms don't really snap in, they just kind of fit in there. And then that little gun barrel is going to be sticking out of the front of the vehicle, just under the bumper, like a reverse exhaust pipe. Now come around here to the back of the legs and unfold these two wheels. Then come around here to the feet and fold the feet down towards the toes, so that he's going to look like he's standing on stilts. Now we're going to fold these over, and the foot is actually going to go onto this, the top of the vehicle right now has this T where there's spaces missing, and it's not a Thunderbird. So we're going to bring these pieces in, and they are going to snap on either side of that T. So we don't want to really push it into place yet. We're just going to line them up. So we're going to fold those legs down, and we're going to line the toes up on either side of that T that makes up the roof of the vehicle. And once we've gotten all that stuff lined up, we just have to press down on them, and they're just going to fit into place. There we are. There we are. Now, next step is this back assembly bit has a chest plate on it that we talked about with Gears. That chest plate needs to unfold so that this chest piece that we folded down has to fold out one more time on that chest plate. That chest plate's going to fold in and around and become the tailgate for this truck. I like that part of Gears' transformation. I like that part about Swerve's transformation. And then you fold the wheels down on the rear, and they snap into the chest piece, and there you have a perfectly transformed Swerve. Isn't that neat? Now, a little bit of extra, just something I've learned about Swerve. So if you want to kind of give him a vehicle mode that resembles Gears more, unfold the back wheels, and this big old bulky chest piece. Take your thumbnail, Just kind of pull at it on the sides and wiggle it. And this isn't glued in or anything like that, so it will come out. It just doesn't like to. There it goes. There it goes. Look at that. So this piece, I haven't figured out where else I could put it, but it is kind of neat that we get this extra little piece that we can actually just kind of take out. And now you have a Gears that you can then take his gun from the front of this vehicle mode. Let's grab your gun from the front where we're holding it. There it is. Okay, and we can come around here to the back and make it into an exhaust pipe because now we have that spot visible. Or at least it was a spot on Gears. It may not be a spot on Swerve, but it's worth the try. It's worth the try. No. Huh. Intriguing. That is not a 5mm port anymore on Swerve. They changed it so that this piece could fit in there. Isn't that interesting? So, we're going to put this piece back. Now, to put it back the appropriate way, all you have to do is feel for the etch in the panel, and that etch in the panel is actually going to line up with this this weird tetrahedron-feeling shape that's on between the wheels and sticking out. And they're just going to line up together, and it's going to snap back into place. Actually, best way to do it is pull the wheels apart on either side, and then we can just push that piece back into place, and it's locked back in. Fold the wheels up, put the gun back in his hand over here. Gotta pull this hand out for a second to put the gun back in it. Come on, Mr. Hand. All right. Where's the hand? I've done lost my hand. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, I found the port. It transforms so smoothly on the underside of this vehicle. It's a good transformer all in all. I really enjoyed Gears. I really enjoyed the fact that this guy is a retool of Gears. I do think it's odd. I thought he would be like a retool of something like Windcharger or something like that. Like, I thought Swerve was going to be the retool of Windcharger, and Tailgate was going to be the retool of Gears, because with a name like Tailgate, I assume that that he has a tailgate. Unless, of course, I don't know. Anyway, so that's Swerve in his transformation. His little vehicle mode's neat. There's not much difference between it and Gears, except that Gears feels like he's more of a work truck, like one of those big work trucks that has a big light bar across the top of it and stuff like that. This dude, Swerve here, feels like he's more of a sportsman's truck. Like this is a truck that goes out and does some mudding and stuff like that. This truck, he goes out and has adventures. This is an adventuring truck, and Gears is more of a work truck. So that's a big difference between the two. My final grades on this would be the robot mode. It's going to get an A ranking. I really liked Gears, and I really liked Swerve's robot modes. I really appreciate the fact that they have double jointed elbows. That's really a nice little extra. You know, you don't get that many times. The transformation, very intuitive. It's a nice transformation. It's a simple transformation, so it's not going to get the S ranking because, you know, I always like to cut my teeth on some complicated stuff. But it is going to get an A+ because it is a very nice transformation, and Gears was definitely in the top rankings a few years back because of his transformation. And finally, vehicle mode. Vehicle mode's going to get an A also. It's a decent vehicle mode. It's a solid vehicle mode. It doesn't just come apart on you. Everything comes together, and it makes a decent little vehicle. There are little quirks about it, like I wish that they had found a way to maybe make some paneling in the back so that it feels more like the back of a pickup truck. Like if these, if the insides of the legs could each have folded out and connected to the sides, maybe it would have given you a deeper set in the middle to kind of give you the bed of the truck. But anyway, all in all, I think Swerve is an excellent little transformer. It's a great addition to the mini bots, and yeah, all we have left is Tailgate, and of course, maybe one day we'll get a hold of Sea Spray. But I've blathered on long enough about Swerve. Go out and get one for yourself today. I highly recommend him. He is a fun transformer, and if you never known about the More Than Meets the Eye comic from IDW, I suggest checking that out too, because Swerve is an amazing character in that comic, and I really like the way that he was written. That's my Swerve, that's for sure. Until next Prime, Bye-bye for now.